base of poison. Kick your base of poison.
Our trip through the home openers continues as we come to the Peterborough Memorial Center and the home opener of the Junior A Lakers. It was against these Lakers that the Six Nations Arrows last year scored their overtime win that got them into the playoffs over the Brampton Excelsiors. Should be a good one here this evening. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Dan Malta, the JVI Sports Network crew, and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. This is your OJLL Game of the Week. And Dan, two teams that, this is pretty much go time for both of them, seeing as the mix of veteran players who are kind of running out of time on their junior calendars.
Yeah, and the Six Nations Arrows, they're a team coming off a win to start their season. It was an 8-6 win over the Burlington Blaze. Thunderhill, 5 of the 8 goals for that team in that game. And then the Peterborough Lakers, their head coach Robert Hope saying before the season that he believes this is a team that can go all the way to a Minto. And I know that not making the playoffs last year, obviously they want to jump their game up and meet that expectation, but a tough thing to say to start the season, but they believe in themselves this year. We'll see if they have it.
3 other games ongoing at the moment. Orangeville Brampton just underway, as are Burlington Blaze and the Beaches. Mimico KW. It's the Mountaineers up 7-4 there, and we're underway here in Peterborough with the Lakers getting the opening possession, but it rolls away. It won't be Sugga Thompson in net after his 66 save performance on Bread and Cheese Day. Ethan Robertson, the veteran, gets the start for the Arrows, who are in black and orange. Going left to right, there is Thunderhill, and his first offering in on Cole Gervais is a stop.
Yeah, Gervais just looking that one right down the pipe, controlling the rebound, no problem, and the Lakers able to break it back up the floor, no problem.
Of course, Gervais part of that big trade last year. Deacon Knott, Ben Trumbull, Zach Thompson going the other way to Burlington, and all 3 of those members having big impacts on the Blazes' route to a Minto Cup championship. Here come the Arrows now. Ball in the stick of Yanni Thompson. He'll wait for changes coming off the bench in front of us. I think this is the only arena in the OJLL with benches on the opposite sides. Up for grabs at center, brought down by the Lakers. It's Frank Coyle who will send it to the outside. Colby Wood waiting for the offense to set up. Wood quickly down into the corner. Wood has it again up top, bringing it near side. Alexander Hicks, he'll play it down into the corner. Nicholas Rude can't find the cutter, but it's back down for Wood. His low shot misses the mark late in the shot clock. Picked up by the Arrows, and they may have transition here with Brendan Anderson. A little too far for Anderson to pick up, and the Arrows will get it. A big slide there on the turf here at PMC. Already Louis Alfred, who scored that overtime goal. Down floor, Lakers looking for a transition of their own. Wyatt Wiggins just unable to catch up to it. Played back to Mason Cree. 5th overall pick, part of 5 picks that Peterborough had in this most recent OJLL entry draft, including 3 in the first round. Michael Blaymyers, graduating senior. He's been in green and white for quite some time now. Over to Nate Sage on the other end of it, up for Rookie of the Year. The shot does come from Nick DeLoro. Save made by Robertson, and he's looking all the way down floor. In the stick of Blaze Becker. On the doorstep, and Gervais makes a good save.
The Arrows catching the Lakers there with a change and just chucking it up the floor as quick as they can, getting a great opportunity there.
Spinning and firing, the Arrows are going to draw first blood.
So that goal comes on the back of the Lakers getting caught on a tough change where it was just sent up the floor by Robertson. The Arrows able to control the rebound after their initial shot, then it comes back into their possession. They just keep things moving and keep the offense pressing, don't let up at all. Still the Lakers getting settled in off their change, bringing it up to the slot and then firing that one, bouncing it through. And here we are now, the Arrows quieting the crowd a little bit. It's the 36th annual Lakers Classic kicking off today. It started at 3 p.m., so it's a pretty packed house, actually, for the Junior Lakers. It was free admission for any of the players from the tournament wearing their jerseys. A lot of energy in the building in Peterborough today.
And some good action as we were setting up here. I think we got to see 3 games here on the carpet. Nepean, Barrie, and someone else as well. A big victory from one of the Peterborough teams.
19-0.
Yeah.
Score against Newmarket.
That was the one that was on as we arrived. Here's Brendan Anderson again. Anderson will leave it there. Doug Elijah, one of 4 AP call-ups. Lowering the shoulder and running straight through his man is Sam Trumbull. Part of the Aurelia Trumbull family, making a name for themselves here in Peterborough. And as we said, with Ben elsewhere. But look at Thompson, though. This is Yanni Thompson battling all comers. Got away from the triple team, turns into a good shot. And then on the doorstep again, Yanni Thompson, save made by Gervais. That was a big one on him and Blaze Becker.
Good bounce back there for Gervais, just to, again, stand tall in the crease and make sure that the Arrows aren't able to build on their lead.
Couple big steps in for Robertson before he lifted a shot. Then Sego Swamp did the same, but after the whistle, another shot now showing 6-1 shots on goal in favor of Six Nations in the early going. Just about 5 minutes gone here in the first. Scheduled for 3 20-minute periods if you're still in winter mode. As the ball bounces to Robertson, or perhaps you've been in NCAA mode as those semifinals are underway this evening on the women's side. Transition run there by Colby Wood. Sorry, that was Wood bringing it up after Gervais made the transition save. Robertson going off the left wing, bounced down in the crease, but kept alive and back the other way. Cole Powis across center, now out to Anderson again. Waits for Elijah to take the floor. Back through Jaden Kennedy. No shot from Cash Dockstader. Likes to take it to the crease. Now Jaden Kennedy from the outside. Shot clock down to 5 seconds. Doesn't look like the Arrows are going to get one. Was sent back over center by the Lakers. So no over and back, but it did come at the tail end of the shot clock.
Good relentless D there from the Lakers to make sure that, again, the Arrows don't keep building on their momentum. And just looking at the 2 benches, the amount of coaching going on from Robert Hope compared to the near side where the Arrows are, it's night and day. The Lakers bench talking up and down the bench, everybody communicating right now. The Arrows seem pretty relaxed at this point.
It's a team that's been together for, basically 3 years now, coming out of the bubble season. This would be season number 3 as a full group, full season as a full group. And, Stu Montour told me before the game that, this is their season. They think they're going to be a top 5 team this year and even better next. But this one and next year, with not losing that many players over the last couple of seasons, it's go time is what they said. They believe this is the time right now for this Arrows team. Showed it in a big way, knocking off the reigning champions.
And really limiting the Lakers to the perimeter so far in this game.
Here's Nate Blaemeyers. Actually waited for his defender to clear out in front of him before taking that shot. Now running down the far boards, Lewis Alfred. Alfred lost control of that ball. Has been the penalty minutes leader for the Arrows the last couple of seasons. Has Alfred, but under control through the first 2 games of the season so far. First game in maybe half a period or so here. Lakers to the outside, back again, and Alexander Hicks had all kinds of room to shoot, and then Vance Adams wasn't ready for that one to hit him at center. Otherwise, he had a full half floor to do what he wanted.
Great stick from Nick DeLauro there to get in the lane and create a turnover for his team, and the Lakers are back up the floor.
A normally offensive-minded DeLauro putting up a good defensive play there. Out to the outside. Brandon Marino has it back. He's going one-on-one with Yanni Thompson. Up top now, Reed Chamberlain has it. Chamberlain's pass to the near boards. Bounce to Aaron just for a second, late in the shot clock. And again, not like basketball. That ball's got to hit the net, which it never did before the clock can reset. And it'll go back the other way for the Arrows. Jaden Kennedy. As we're just about 2 minutes away from the halfway mark of this first period. Arrows the only goal so far. Big high step shot from way up top for Winter Rivera. Bounces off of Gervais. Straight to Sam Trumbull. In transition scores.
So since that first goal, looking at the Peterborough Junior Lakers in their own zone, they seem to have found their structure defensively, and that's what led to that ball going back up the floor. It's just a bouncer from solid defensive positioning. They've got their structure, they're playing their box, and they're keeping everybody to the outside. That leads to a turnover and then just a battle goal. That's just effort getting down the floor and putting that one home for Sam Trumbull. And that's exactly what the Lakers need to try and get back into this one and build some momentum here on their home floor.
As you said, with some minor players in attendance and the green and yellow all the way up through the minor ranks up to the junior level. That's something that we're starting to see more of here with these junior A teams. We get our first penalty of the game. Referee Hessen has the high stick call.
A little bit overexcitement there, just in that battle, getting the stick up, and interesting to see what the Arrows power play looks like this evening. Tough start.
Well, I hope it doesn't look like that all night, but it took about 2 seconds to put it back over the timeline. Give the Lakers a chance here to kill off almost 30 seconds as Stu Montour calls the troops together and has a discussion about that first possession. Here's Nicholas Rude on the run.
Nicholas Rude, one of the players that was interviewed by Megan Roy of Global News here in Peterborough, talking about how he believes this team is the team that can go all the way this season and how much they love just being a group that have played in the Lakers organization from being 4 or 5 years old up until this point, how much it means to them to play here in the PMC as well. So this day, this tournament, and their season opener has to mean a lot.
Frank Coyle turned back, and that's dangerous with only 8 seconds to get over half. Lakers did clear it in time. Can't quite see where we are in the penalty. Has the score clock way up in the rafters here.
Halfway, we are halfway. Had to do a deep squat to find that number.
I was not interested. Good double team here by the Arrows. Even better work being done by Nate Sage. And the crowd appreciates it as he's going to run for cover. Shot clock down to 15. And handshakes and bucket taps all around over on that Lakers bench on the far side of the floor.
35 seconds remains in the kill.
Michael Blaemeyers, he'll pass it down into the corner. Some more hard checking from the Arrows. I mean, they got after it there on that defensive power play set. See what they can do in the dying minutes of their first man advantage here. Swamp through the corner, up top, Brendan Anderson. He'll switch places now. Hard shot there, and what a soak. I believe that was Frank Coyle, who then picks it up and finds Simpson down floor. Lands on the break, spins and fires. Save made by Robertson just as the penalty expires.
The Lakers out-chancing the Arrows on that penalty kill.
See if it turns into some momentum after the shorthanded goal as well. Pass out into the middle. Handled there by Matthew Drimmy, one of the rookies on this team. Blaemeyers, the interception, and they'll turn it back the other way. So after being up 6-1 in shots, they've now nearly evened out 8-7, showing in favor of the Arrows. Lakers, one of 3 teams to have not played a game yet, along with KW and Mimico. They're going head-to-head. 8-5 for the Mountaineers at this point. Down floor, it's going to be too many men against the Lakers as the Arrows tried to run some transition. Reminder to visit OntarioJuniorLacrosse.com for all your scores, schedules, stats, and standings, or download the official OJLL app from the App Store. And if you're still seeing, by the way, last year's schedules, you can hit the top right corner and switch your season to 2024. Is how that's done.
So look around the building, just thinking about what a treat it is for a lot of these players who are going to be here all weekend playing lacrosse to get some exposure to this. I know tomorrow afternoon there's going to be a Senior Lakers open practice as well, where the public's invited to that. I'm sure a lot of these kids are going to come down, see some guys that they've watched in the NLL
That's cool.
all season, and that means a lot. You think of the scope of that, hockey playing kids never going to get to experience something like that.
You look at a lot of these Lakers teams that are being coached by players, NLL players, major players, guys who've come through the junior and minor system as well. Even right here, Robert Hope, the head coach of this Junior Lakers program.
And if you look around the building, you'll see it just scattered with Lakers legends, Peterborough Sports Hall of Famers. They're all here for these games.
We honored Dean McLeod in our first game in Brampton as they played St. Catharines, and he said, you know, the good thing about Junior A and about lacrosse in general, but Junior A, you're playing for the community. In hockey, you kind of come from everywhere, and you don't get that community feel, but all of these kids have played for, whether it's Peterborough, whether it's Six Nations, or any of the other 11 communities that have a Junior A team. You've played in that community. It means something, and it means something even after you graduate to come back and still be part of it. Here is Thunderhill, quiet so far tonight, but it was not the case on Monday when he put up 5 goals. Coaching staff said they want to see even more from him this season, and if there's more in that tank, God bless the defenses that got to play against him. Here's Dockstader to Hill. Off the reset, working back around the horn. Thunderhill up top, behind his back. Pass to Ducka Elijah. His shot off the defender and out. It'll be another reset. Still in the power play. Here are the Arrows as they go up top for Thunderhill. Big fake shot. May have opened space, although it closed quickly for Jaden Kennedy. Here's Hill. Looks off. Kennedy shoots himself from the end boards. Dockstader kind of surprised himself that he had it, I think.
For most teams, it's going to go this way, but it looks as though the more opportunities the Arrows are going to get, the more dialed in they're going to get on their power play. That first one was a bit of a debacle. This one, a good amount of time set up in the offensive zone, created a few dangerous opportunities.
It's always, you're not sure what you're going to get the first couple offensive sets from a team that has to travel in on the bus. Dockstader gets a piece of Lucas Osborne as the shot clock is expiring, and that's the right call and one that's not going to sit well with the Arrows when this change completes here. Going to take a few extra ticks as Blaze Becker's out in transition, and Gervais stands tall again.
The Arrows controlling things in terms of turning it up the floor quickly for opportunities. I know that the Lakers' lone goal did come in that fashion, but so far this game, I think the count is probably 5-1 of the Arrows trying to turn it up the floor and transition as quick as they can.
Nate Sage again getting it down low, and Alexander Hicks lost it just as he was about to shoot. Up the floor. What a pick for Douglas Thompson, but again, it's Gervais that's standing there just waiting for the shot.
It's almost a goalie challenge when they make the pass that far, and then it's just goalie stopping goalie as far as putting points up on the board.
Could easily be a couple more on the side of the Arrows through this period, if not for Cole Gervais and the work he's done stopping that transition.
Lakers trying those cute float passes in the offensive zone. They're not connecting as the Arrows are able to just set that screen and hold up the player that's trying to go for that float pass. It seems to be broken up almost every time the Arrows are onto that from Peterborough.
Here's Anderson. He'll bounce it to Hill, the last man off the bench. Already down to 10 on the shot clock. Hill stumbling near side, gets rid of it. Over to Trice Sunday. His shot does get in to find Gervais, but rebound picked up initially by Trumbull. Now Anderson has it back on the crease. What a save, perhaps Gervais' best of the period.
Just using his body to close off all the lanes, staying tall, but still going down at the same time. Really impressive from Gervais.
Hill, far side of the floor as the Arrows continue to press, though. Behind the back, looking to Thunder Hill, who's cutting towards the crease. Now bounces to Colby Wood. He'll get it up and over center. Pressure relieved, at least for the time being. Lakers, you would think, would want a lengthy shot clock here. Try and get their defense some rest, but no, they take the shot. Nicholas Rude saw room at the far side of the post, but it just bounced wide. Here's Hicks now. Back up towards the restraining line. Shot from Matthew Drimmy goes off an Arrows player and up out of play. They do indeed get that extended possession they were looking for. But it's all been on the right side so far. They now try to go to Drimmy. He shakes off his man. Brings it to the near side. Nobody home for the pass across floor. Here's Robertson on a bounce to Hill. 3 minutes to go here in our first period. All knotted at once.
we got some birds do find their way into the Peterborough Memorial Center all the time, and I just got spooked by one.
Teams aren't the only ones flying here in the building tonight. Outside shot, big heavy step, and that was Frank Coyle forcing Robertson into a save. Brody Thomas, not far enough for Hill. The interception from Nick Crowley and picked off passes, I think, definitely favor the Lakers here in our first period. Hard outside shot. Both teams have 2 timeouts they can take whenever they like, 1 per period though. As we get down the stretch here, Anderson carries it in, elects to go cross floor and hit right off Hessen. Anderson over the shoulder. Rebound picked up. Arrows get the reset. Ducka Elijah looking off of Hill and lowering the shoulder and going right through his man is Nick Crowley. But they come streaking off the defensive bench and took his chance away. Alfred wants to try it himself back the other way. He'll wait for Hill and the offense to take to the floor. 1.5 minutes now remaining in the period. Hill, the bouncer, over to Kenny Porter. He goes up top to Douglas Thompson. Hill, couple steps, actually took a back step before shooting that. In on Gervais, who hangs on. 15-13 the shots. Now favoring Six Nations. Couple seconds away from the last minute. Down towards the corner. Through DeLauro, over to the far side. Comes back for Rude, his shot off of Alfred. Towards the corner, Rude gets his own rebound late in the clock. No time to get that shot in on Robertson. Arrows coaching staff looking up to the clock, electing not to take the timeout. We'll see if they try and go 2 for 1. It's indeed what they do with Winter Rivera. And Anderson picks up the rebound. Still too early for the timeout. And then stuffed was Trice Sunday, now loses his stick. Peterborough picks it up just inside of 30. Shot clock, I believe, non-factor. Gervais gonna stay where he is for now. On the run, the shot. That was Marino. It got tied up. Robertson will bounce it down. There's no one there except for Hill, who cuts back and scores. Wow.
It seemed as though the Peterborough Lakers had adjusted to the quick turn up and transition from the arrows, but if they just keep on trying, it eventually might find a weak spot, and that's exactly what Thunderhill was able to do there. Just sneak in while the Lakers are getting their changes completed and find a way to just blend in on the floor and get down there. And you can see it right here. He's a ghost down there, free and clear, and Gervais can only do so much. He can only stop so many of those breakaway attempts. Huge save.
Yeah, Robertson back the other way. That is a big one because it keeps the period 2-1 in favor of the Six Nations Arrows, who are pressing most of that period and do come away with the lead, but a good aggressive period and a fast one from both teams.
It was great to see the adjustments made by both benches as that period progressed. The Peterborough Lakers started out a little bit more spread out defensively. As the period went on, they started to collapse more in front of Gervais in that area, the slot area. They tried to shut down those transition opportunities from the Six Nation Arrows, but they just kept on going to that well, and eventually it paid off for the second time there, and that's where it's at. Two teams adjusting to one another. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like when the second period gets underway.
That comes your way in just under 10 minutes time. We'll take the quick timeout. The Six Nations Arrows lead 2-1 over Peterborough in their home opener. You're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Game of the Week, which is powered by Gatorade.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Let's go, raise up one time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
We get you set for the second period here between the Six Nations Arrows, who lead 2-1 over the Peterborough Lakers after the first period. Goals coming. Excuse me. Update the app. Winter Rivera, Sam Trumbull, and Thunder Hill. No surprise that Hill is on the board here in this game in a period that really went back and forth.
Yeah, and Hill an assist on the opening goal as well. But you talked about those adjustments at the end of the period, just how Peterborough was attempting to shut down that quick transition from the Six Nation Arrows. It's oftentimes the goalie just launching it up the floor, trying to get something in behind Peterborough while they're changing. And Peterborough's going to have to adjust to that this game as soon as possible if they want to stay in this one and take the win on their home floor.
Address a couple of the comments in our YouTube chat, which, by the way, we encourage you to chime in. Empty seats, you're looking across the floor where they've been roped off so no one gets near the benches for the tournament, is my understanding there. So there's no one sitting on the far side, but decent crowd underneath our cameras.
I believe it's so the PMC staff doesn't have to clean up any garbage this weekend. Not all the kids are respecting the caution tape, but yeah, the entire far side of the building is taped off so that no fans can get over there. Just some Peterborough Junior Lakers executive, it looks like, and some fans on that side. But the near side stands jam-packed with Lakers classic players and fans. It's great to see.
I imagine, I was going to say tomorrow, but tomorrow's the open practice. But when the senior Lakers get here, that will not be roped off. And almost a guarantee. Shot in on Gervais, who now takes up residence in the net down to our left. And yes, number 17, Jaden Jimerson, along with a number of others on the roster we were given here in-house for Six Nations, not on the bus trip today.
The Peterborough Lakers dealing with a little bit of that as well, missing DJ Clark, playing in the Final Four in the NCAA.
Still some private schools that have yet to close out their semesters as well, as is always the case in the first couple weeks of the Junior A season. That ball bounces away. The Arrows getting it and immediately facing a triple team is Ducka Elijah.
And something else to note for a lot of these Peterborough Lakers, it was the carpet wasn't actually supposed to be down. There was some controversy there in Peterborough to get this carpet down, and it is down for this game. A lot of these Peterborough Lakers players have actually never played on this floor. They've been used to the concrete, so that's quite the adjustment in itself.
Arrows Paulus sending it up the near side. Blaze Becker. Thunderhill, far side, Anderson. Anderson goes to the net, and low shot there, Gervais the save. Which is becoming a theme here in this game. I asked if those 72, something like 140, 150 shots in Six Nations were accurate, and the Arrows staff said absolutely, we may have missed a few. So
the firing squad was out.
Yes. Between them and Burlington. And by the way, Burlington trailing Beaches tonight, 5-3. Brampton on top of Orangeville, 6-2. So the big two teams from last year could be in trouble here tonight. Sidearm shot. Winter Rivera gets that one in on Gervais, who makes the save.
It's good to know we've got the game to watch tonight.
Well, two teams that always play each other tight. As we said, went to overtime last year, and that was the difference in the playoff picture. Look at this. Out and down floor. Wills Racket gets the goal.
Pretty strong Lakers possession in the offensive zone. An absolute laser beam from Colby Wood, and the rebound comes out so far off that shot. It's kicked out by Ethan Robertson that it's right up the floor. And once again, the Lakers getting caught in transition, and that's just a tough break, I gotta say. That rebound kicked out all the way to the center line and then taken down. No mistake, Gervais, he's got a lot to deal with there. It's pretty much a 50-50 every time somebody's in all alone.
3 minutes gone here in the period. Apologize that our clock cam on not working at the moment. We'll try and get that back for you. Triton Sunday. Sending it over to the far side, Anderson. Anderson, Rivera, in for Anderson. He circled through. In between the defenses. Here comes Swamp taking the hard shot. Sego Swamp. Wide of the mark. And a shot clock violation there against the Arrows. Hey, there's the clock, Ken. The assist to Anna Taylor. Brandon Marino, his shot. Sails wide of everything. He'll run back across the center line, get his own rebound. Nick DeLauro. Now shot going wide, bounces right into the stick of Alfred, who's on his horse. Trailing the screen of Brody Thomas. Alfred back for Thomas, the bouncer. Hill will get the rebound. That took half the shot clock as now the offense gets out there. Anderson to Winter Rivera. Up top, Thunder Hill. His shot, Gervais with the save. Hill's going to chase the rebound and get the reset. Back to behind the net. One-man switch. New offensive players. Jaden Kennedy, who has it here. That shot off the foot of Gervais, and this will lead to the third phase of this offensive set. Dugout Elijah. Back though, quick stick from Rivera. Sails wide all the way up top. Hill gets shoved down, going for that loose ball. Probably could have made a case for interference, but Nick Crowley will take it as he comes up.
As Caleb Connell hustling on what had to be tired legs. You mentioned 3 times they reset that clock. Peterborough getting lucky escaping that.
Room to run for Matthew Drimmy, comes in and just missed the outstretched arm of Robertson. Had 2 missed shots last time down the floor and did it again there. Did the Lakers. Winter Rivera, him and Hill playing catch. Sidearm shot from Triton Sunday. Goes up and out of play. We'll get the reset.
Colby Wood getting his stick on that one. Just trying to get anything in the lane there. Successfully does so.
Douglas Thompson. Back to Sunday. His twister right on the crease. He had a man all over him. That one went wide, but there is a penalty called as Robertson comes to the bench. Traffic jam at the door. He can't get himself in. Anderson to the crease. 3 Arrows players on the doorstep, and we do get the stoppage and the holding call.
Yeah, pretty new boards here in Peterborough, actually, but they didn't plan for lacrosse goalies, it seems, getting into those gates. And this is just a situation where the Arrows are continually pressing, and the Lakers are just getting tired in the defensive zone. You can only do that so much, and the tax on you when you're playing defense for that long versus playing offense that long, it's so much more on the defensive players. The Arrows able to take advantage.
Colby Wood going off for a hold. Second power play of the game for the Arrows tonight. Ball pops out of the stick of Sunday. And straight to Riley Simpson, who will send it up floor, but not really in anyone's general direction except for Blaze Baxter.
Minute 30 remaining in the Arrows power play.
6.5 gone here in the second period. Arrows have stretched their lead out to 3-1. Trying to finesse it in was Rivera. Anderson now going after this loose ball hard, and it's the Lakers who pick it up. And up to center, Riley Simpson. Just a step in front of him.
Lakers able to change just 1 player. The other 3 out there still on tired legs.
And the more times we say that, the more tired they're going to be when we turn this thing around and get into the deep parts of the game, when perhaps if the score stays like this, they'll be trying to hunt a goal.
especially early in the season, just the pace of the game is relentless, and to have that kind of conditioning takes a little bit of seasoning. You can't quite simulate it in practice.
Brennan Marino's shot, that hits something, and now it hits off the foot of a hopping Yanni Thompson. Into Robertson here, who will send the ball up.
And our second broken twig of the game.
Start counting those in a junior A season. You're going to run out of fingers and toes pretty quick. Here's Anderson from up top. Nifty little move from Sunday to get in there and recover the loose ball. Quick stick, far side, and Gervais was down in full splits. Ball ended up going wide. They tried again on the crease. Nothing doing as it came to Cash Dock Stater either. Anderson now trying to lead Hill in the shot clock reset. Anderson having words with, I believe that's Frank Coyle, as they head off the floor. We are back 5-on-5, by the way. Minute and 20 away from the halfway mark of regulation time. Nice pass and standing tall Robertson taking it away from Michael Blaemeyers. Blaemeyers in front of the crease there, pardon me, Reed Chamberlain. They got a stick in his back, nearly knocked him over, going for the loose ball. Fresh reset for DeLauro. No room to go to the crease. Good job done by Wales Reset. The arrows come out again. Sego Swamp. Big high step from Elijah. Save from Gervais. And now the Lakers will push transition of their own. Trumbull back to his right. That shot off the end boards. Nick Crowley there for the rebound, but seems like every time the Lakers go for one, there's an extra orange jersey standing right there, and it ends up back the other way down the floor.
The Lakers appear to have applied an antidote to the quick breakout of the arrows. A few players hanging back with a couple deep in that possession. After the ball was turned over, they dropped back immediately.
Wyatt Wiggins to Nicholas Rood. On the run, Marino backs in towards the corner. Now gets a screen and a little bit of space. Looks off Sage. Hard shot from up top. That was from Blaemeyers that got in on the net. And now in front of the net. Sage taken down. We're getting a penalty coming here to the Arrows. Marino will find the extra attacker off the bench. It's Drimmy. Out to Rood. They want him to shoot. He does. Bouncing ball. It's in.
The Lakers successfully setting up in the offensive zone. Pending power play. Wales Reset got a little bit aggressive, dropped the cross check down on the hip and took a player down right in front of the crease. That allows the Lakers to get the extra runner out on the floor. They do a good job having patience here before forcing a shot. And then this one just barely squeaks through Robertson. You can see him looking back for it. A couple players dive. And it takes one bounce back, one back into the net. And the Lakers are back within one.
I think if you've watched most of this game, especially if you were just watching offensive possessions, you would think the Arrows were way out in front, but doing a good job defensively. Gervais is keeping them right there. The Lakers, that is, and now within one goal.
The Lakers the last couple times up the floor have been able to set up in the offensive zone instead of just taking a quick shot. They've been having a little bit more patience. We saw some shots from kind of the money area and the high slot, and just holding on to the ball, working for those rebounds. That creates an opportunity for a power play. Didn't come to fruition, but they score with the extra runner on the floor.
Man, Will White took all kinds of exception with Blaze Becker there on that faceoff. First off, ran him over and then chased him down with a couple chops. But it looks like we're going to get a normal set here with Rivera. Up top, Thunder Hill. He'll drag it back around, and now a penalty coming to Anderson on the crease. I think this will be Nick Crowley on a hold, so just after a goal goes in for Peterborough, they head to the box.
I called Thunderhill a ghost earlier because he's able to sneak around everybody there. He's just so evasive that you have to take that hold or else he's going to get right by you and have a clear lane to the net. And the Lakers have to know his name going into the game. You know there's heavy focus on Hill, and there he's taking advantage of it. It seems like he's got defenders a little bit nervous, and he can make those moves, light on his feet, draws a holding call.
We were discussing Will Firth on the drive in. The Beach's former MVP in 2022 as Gervais makes another save, and how he's not a big size guy. And you look throughout this league, a lot of the offensive players who put up big points are not big, huge players. And Thunderhill definitely fits that category, but puts up big numbers. Riley Simpson into Arrows territory, root off the bench. What a move. But the shot ended up high over top of Robertson and everything else.
3 great chances so far in this game from the Lakers while shorthanded.
Lance Adams to Rivera. Sago Swamp. Not quite in decline, the penalty territory for the Arrows, but pretty close. Swamp, a nifty little no-look pass. Hill has it again. Behind the net, in the stick of Rivera. They try and go all the way up top with the shot clock winding down. Douglas Thompson can't play it.
45 seconds remaining in the power play for the Arrows.
Shots have now swung in favor of the Lakers, 23-20. Here's DeLauro. Had a man all alone on the crease. And a couple of steps there for Nate Sage. Robertson has to look around him to get the pass up to Dockstader.
Keep counting those shorthanded chances. That's number 4. Somehow the Lakers able to execute and attack while shorthanded.
Thunderhill, now Elijah. The finesse pass down to the crease. Gervais down, thought he made the save and hung on to it, but not so much. Now they go quick stick again. It's intercepted. This will be Trumbull that brings it up. 7 to play here in the period. That'll do it for the penalty. We're back 5-on-5 as the Arrows lead 3-2. Nick Crowley. He'll send it to the far boards. Rude to Hicks off the bench. Shot there. Robertson the save. Rebound picked up by the Arrows, and their first look all game has been up floor immediately. This time Thunderhill, who still has it on the hidden ball play. Hill back towards center, will now pass to the far side of the floor. Not as smooth as the one out of the Albany playbook, but I'm sure fooled a couple people here in the building. Here's Rivera trying to sneak it in past the stick. It looked like it hit Gervais. Shot clock doesn't reset. Now it does as the ball goes in as well.
You can see some frustration on the faces of the Peterborough Lakers players after that one crossed the line. And that one, probably something that Gervais is going to want back as well, just snuck through. But the relentlessness of the Arrows is what is creating their offense. Once they get the ball, they seem to be attacking every single time. They're not letting up on any offensive zone possessions. They're not rushing anything. And that's how they're able to execute just like this. That's a long-range shot. There is a bit of a screen out there for Gervais, but that's definitely one he's going to want back.
Goalies take the chance to get a quick drink of water here. And that makes it 4-2 in favor of the Arrows. 15-5, by the way. Mimico all over KW. A quick check of the out-of-town scores. Robertson the save. 8-3 Brampton on Orangeville, and 7-5 Beaches on top of Burlington right now, as that one's starting to tighten up a little bit. Get our first look at KW and Orangeville on the OJLL Game of the Week on Sunday from Tony Rose. It's a 7 p.m. start here on the OJLL TV channel. And then back here on Monday when the Lakers welcome the Toronto Beaches. Brendan Marino. Up top for Drimmy. Who can forget the playoff series between the Lakers and Beaches from 2 seasons ago in the first round. Tightly contested one. A lot of offense both sides. Deacon not nearly winning the series all by himself for Peterborough before the Beaches moved on route to 2022 Minto Cup. A couple shots here from the Lakers. Another one right in on the crease, and they call it off on the violation. Blaze Becker back the other way. See if we can get another look at that when we have a sec. Ball down in the corner. Rivera up top for Swamp. He'll pass it to the outside for Hill. Thunder Hill faked out his man, takes the shot late in the shot clock. And they will not get the shot.
That Lakers opportunity was,
As we look at the crease call,
it was built off the back of an interception around mid-floor. And the Lakers are able to do that, create more chances for themselves instead of having to rush offensive zone possessions, catch the Arrows off guard.
here's Caleb Mallion in transition the other way. Can't knock the Arrows for that here tonight as we got a delayed penalty with Robertson, coming to the bench. It's going to upset some of the cheering kids who are in front of us here. Trying to encourage their Lakers, who are down by 2. Extra attacker is out there.
I think we've got a Let's Go Arrows chant right in front of us, actually.
Okay. Allegiances turn quickly in this building, I guess. Anderson. Cross for Sunday. Another reset here on the delayed penalty call. 2 officials with their arms high for almost a full minute now. Anderson. Another east-west pass that gets knocked down. And too many men is the call against the Peterborough bench. That's the second one against them tonight, I believe.
And they haven't actually spent any time on the power play tonight. I know they had a penalty called, were able to score with the extra runner on the floor, but the PK unit is just getting a workout tonight. And we talked about this a little bit, how much that keeps on taxing you throughout the game as we approach the 50-minute mark of this game. And things keep on rolling on. It's something that matters. Their body blows in a fight.
As much as I agree with you, they've had their chances, though, as you've been tracking, 4 shorthanded opportunities throughout that, and nearly another one here with a couple Peterborough players lurking in the direction of that long outlet pass. Did our anthem singer just win 50-50? Is that what just happened?
It appears so. It appears so.
Hidden ball play here between Rivera and Sunday. Bench was all over it, so they give it to Rivera for real. Shrug saves Gervais. That one was right down the pipe. What an outlet pass here as it's going to come all the way down in the twister finish for Coyle. What a sequence.
The ball just chucked up the floor. Sidearm, backhand pass, finds the mark, and then making no mistake, in alone Frank Coyle. And we've been counting them throughout the game. The Lakers have been able to generate chances while shorthanded. You can see that head up the floor, finding a player streaking. Coyle runs underneath the ball, makes no mistake, beats Ethan Robertson, and there you go. The Lakers, as I'm counting it, their 5th solid grade A scoring opportunity while shorthanded. This time they capitalize.
And again, it's a 1-goal game. I don't think Peterborough have led in this one, but they've been mighty close throughout. Power play will set up again, and again, I don't know that we're quite in decline the penalty territory, but we might be getting pretty close for that for the Arrows. I wonder what they're going to be working on in practice this week.
Still got 45 seconds to work with here on the man advantage.
Becker taking top spot this time. Rivera. I think that is Let's Go Arrows.
It absolutely is. We've got to remember there are kids from all over Ontario,
yeah,
right?
Okay. A lot of different communities represented on the floor as well, especially the way that the last couple drafts have gone for these two teams. Have had high picks. All the way from Aurelia, Ganawaki. I know, of course, Peterborough, Milton represented on the floor tonight. Here's Kenny Porter.
15 seconds on the power play.
A slashing call behind the play called on the Arrows.
I was taking a peek at the clock, missed that one.
I was watching the play go down. It was definitely behind the play.
Yeah.
And it was a slash. And, I mean, historically, these are the ones that have hurt the Arrows over the years. A lot of room on the floor now, 4-on-4.
For 10 seconds left here.
Then it will be that first power play for the Lakers. Here in the game, turning and firing, Drimmy.
Best case scenario there, getting a quick shot before they get on the power play. Now a full 30.
And that'll get the top power play line out there. Quarterbacked by Colby Wood. Working it through Rude. And Play Myers, who comes up, sets the screen. They score, and we're tied.
Really quick turnaround there. They just put that thing in the spin cycle, started moving things around in the offensive zone. They moved it 1, 2, 3 times, set some players in motion, and then just fired from a decent range. You can see him stepping in there, Colby Wood, kicking it back. Then a couple of players send right into the slot, cause screens, pick up some players. Wood has some time to fire that one and put everything behind it, and he can really fire the ball, bounces one home. All tied up for the first time in this game.
In the last minute of the period as well, 50 seconds showing.
Sorry, not the first time in this game. It was 1-1 at one point, and then 0-0 before that, but the Lakers crawling back into it.
See if they can take the lead here. Both teams have both timeouts. Look out, transition, scores! Colby Wood! First lead for the Lakers.
Something great about minor sports, youth sports, junior hockey, junior lacrosse, games of runs. Momentum matters. When you start getting things going and you start building together, somehow magic just happens. And the Lakers doing everything right here off the draw, picking up the ball quickly and then turning it up the floor immediately. No mistake. Once again, Colby Wood knew exactly where to go, found a soft spot in coverage, and then found a soft spot in Ethan Robertson, and the Peterborough Lakers up by 1 here at home. That changed things in the crowd.
Yeah, a couple of kids went home too, so bad news for Arrows supporters.
And the body language changing on the Lakers bench.
Yes.
Everybody's standing now, nobody's sitting, fully engaged at this point in the game.
Final 20 seconds, Anderson brings it down. Can't take the timeout, can the Arrows? Thunderhill finds the lane, his shot just wide. Doesn't go up out of the crowd, but as it's picked up by Nick Crowley, it will be timeout for Robert Hope and the Lakers with 9.1 left to go. That is about ideal if you're going to run a last-second play.
Absolutely, and at this stage in the period, a goal matters so much. I was just talking about momentum and how swings matter in junior sports. Going into the room, if you can, well, they're going to hold on to this lead, we expect, with 9.1 seconds to go and a possession in their hands here. Going into the room with this lead after trailing for essentially the entire game means so much to the Lakers. It changes the way they game plan for the third period. It changes the way the Arrows are feeling going to the room here. And you can see them just looking down at the benches now. You got a lot of Lakers players, and I always like to look at body language on the benches. I think it really matters. I talked about this already, but a lot of Arrows players down, sitting, looking a little bit dejected at this point in time. Robert Hope over there on the Lakers bench, walking up and down, talking to all the players. Everybody eyes on the coach, listening or talking in their own little conferences. But good to see the resilience from the Lakers so far in this game.
So Gervais will be on the bench. Wood will start with it. Rude up near towards center. Then they've got Looks like Wiggins and Sage on the near side. Play is on. Time running out. 4 seconds left to go. Wood takes it himself and lifts it high over top of everybody, and immediately the play is stuffed from there. So the timeout doesn't do anything, but Peterborough come back to not just tie, but lead after 2 periods.
And that's huge. A goal late in the period, as I've been saying, just means so much. It changes the way you go to the room. And the Arrows still walking around. We'll see what they have to bring. And there's more in the tank from the Arrows. We've seen each team make adjustments so far. One period was one story. The second period, a completely different story. The third will be the game breaker.
And it is coming up in about 10 minutes' time. You're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Game of the Week, powered by Gatorade from here at the Peterborough Memorial Center. We'll be right back.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Yeah, let's go. Raise up one time, go get it. It's yours. Let's shine. Come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
bring you back inside Peterborough Memorial Center. Get set for the third period. The Peterborough Lakers take their first lead of the game late in that second and now are up 5-4. Matthew Carrick alongside Dan Malta in this your game of the week. Home opener for Peterborough. A couple other games to check in on in the third period. 8-6 the Beaches in their home opener at Ted Reeve. It's been a while since they were there. Leading the Burlington Blaze 8-6. 8-3 Brampton's lead in the second over Orangeville, and Mimico continues to be all over Kitchener 17-5 after an 8-1 second period.
Well, Matt, you said game of the week, and it's living up to that name for sure. And the way that this period starts, I think, is just so integral for each team. Each team has to make a statement with just the one goal separation. It has to be a hard start for both teams, and there's a hard start from Peterborough.
Hard start for Thunder Hill as well, as he went hard into that outside boards, gets up though, and will take up residence behind the net. As Jonathan Donville and I talked about last night, a play that's sneaking into the box game from the field ranks, that little X position behind the net. Riley Simpson runs in for Peterborough. And look out, nearly a big hit of their own on the Arrows side of things. Sage took a bump, will pass down in towards the corner. Chasing it with speed. Wales reset.
That ball went off the ceiling at the PMC, and this is a high roof.
Yeah. Although the scoreboard gets hit more than you would think it does.
They raise it up a good amount for these games. But yes, the brand new scoreboard here in Peterborough takes a beating during lacrosse season.
Thunder Hill outside, spin move from Rivera over the back. And Gervais makes the save. Caleb Connell. He'll push it up to the troops coming out that front door. Towards the outside, Alexander Hicks. Yard sale as the stick gets knocked right out of the hands. On the run, the shot. And Yanni Thompson didn't miss by much.
Zorro picking that stick out of the hands.
Thompson again. Quick ball movement here from the Arrows. It lands at the feet of Anderson after Tugga Thompson came in with speed. Sunday to Thompson again. No looks it to Anderson. Just a little bit off the mark, and Dockstader, hard check for his man. Meanwhile, the ball back down the floor, and the stick of Wood spins off coverage. Still tries to twist it in, but just ran himself out of space.
Crazy extension from Wood to try and get back across the crease. He's got the physical range to do that, but to see him reach all the way across the crease was pretty impressive.
Quick stick, Hill scores.
And there it is. That's the start the Arrows needed. Still calm on their bench. Calm and confident. They stop a chance from Peterborough at the far end, get back, set things up on offense, and you can see them just sticking to the outside, driving into the middle, and the Lakers collapse a little bit, which opens up that outside wing. And no mistake on that. Quick shot, sneaking one past Cole Gervais.
And the lead, or excuse me, back to tied here between these two teams. Only at 5-5 though. So you can tell that the defense and the goalies have been putting in work here in this game. Nicholas Rude, that one off a player. Back to Rude, had all kinds of space to shoot. That hit something in front, no shot clock. No reset, I should say, of the shot clock, because now it's down to 5 seconds.
Caught Alexander Hicks in the ribs, it looked like.
That happened in one of the minor games too. Kid just stood there and ate it. It was fantastic. Hurt mom more than it did player down on the floor, trust me. Running in, clean interception for Crowley, it's in.
Really aggressive play there from Nick Crowley. If you like football, that reminded me of strong safety Ed Reed with an interception. He just drove that lane, caught the eyes of the defender, putting that pass up the floor, and you can see Crowley right here. Just steps right in, beats Kenny Porter to the ball, in the exact same move that Colby Wood attempted earlier, twisting across the crease, sending that one home. Lakers back on top.
That's why that late goal in the period, to take that lead, you know, with tired bodies, trying to escape to get into the room. If this one's going to go back and forth, you want to have that advantage coming into the third period. And they still do, as we have gone back and forth. Here early, Thunderhill maybe feeling it a little bit after he got that last goal, sullied with the crowd. But this one just rolls wide.
The difference there was Thunderhill moving his feet while the Peterborough defender was just waiting for the ball to come to him.
37-34 shots for Six Nations in the early going here of the third period. Alexander Hicks playing it back through Drimmy, now on the far side. That's Trumbull giving it back here to Hicks, and over the top into Blaymeyers, and just floated that one with a little bit too much finesse, allowing the Arrows to break it up.
Good defensive composure from the Arrows, not losing their positioning when the Lakers tried to set things in motion there.
Going for a quick stick that time. Picked up here Crowley. Cross center. I don't even think a couple of the Lakers offensive players had got off the floor. Here's Rude through the center, and the bouncer is in.
Huge celebration from the Lakers bench on that goal. Huge celebration from the guy who sent the ball over, and Brendan Marino, as he found Rude in the perfect position. And you can see it here. Marino just assessing the situation. Sees Rude come back up top. Wide open lane, makes no mistake, just an inch inside the post. And when you can find a player in stride picking up the ball like that, they can put their entire momentum and body weight behind the shot. Rude sends that one home.
7-5. Biggest lead for either side here today. It was as much as 3-1, if I'm not mistaken, for the Arrows early on. As Blaymeyers bounces up here for Rude. That shot wide. Rude will come down and, well, nearly secured the rebound if it wasn't for a hard hit coming in.
Brave going for that ball up in the air as well.
Lewis Alfred double teamed down low in the corner, is going to split them, and while falling bounces it all the way up top for Rivera. Alfred now hustling off. Hill for Swamp. Back to the far side. Holding call is going to come here, as it was a high hit on Kennedy. And the Lakers, yes, they're going back to the box, but they have been strong shorthanded in this game.
Nate, or pardon me, that's not Nate Sage, that's Caleb Connell. Eyes to the sky as soon as he committed that infraction. He knew exactly what he'd done, and the Arrows need to capitalize here.
Everyone clears out, lets Thunderhill take the shot. He does. Gervais the save, and it goes up into the safety netting. Robert Hope yelling that 6'6" is going to be the shooter. That's probably a pretty good guess. In Thunderhill on the near side, it goes to 1-1 though, Sunday. Gervais still manages to save. Rivera. Big load from Elijah, and no time there for Swamp as he got hit, and it bounces past Thunderhill and back out over center.
That erases 30 seconds from the kill right away for Peterborough.
And perhaps more, depending on what they do here with this possession. Here's Rude. Over to the far side. Was about to look for a pass, if not for the bench yelling for them to use the shot clock. Comes back for Alexander Hicks. Hicks feeds through traffic, cutter, and at the mercy. Robertson down and out. Sage couldn't put it over the top. Here's Hill. Another hidden ball play. They fake like it's on the logo. Hill had it the whole time. Elijah over to the far side. Sunday just dragged it a little too much. Couldn't get the shot off.
Using the white logo on the floor as well. Sneaky genius there from the Arrows. 36 seconds remains in their power play.
My friend, Six Nations Arrows teams have been doing that for years at the ILA. I forget what the white logo is. I don't even know if the business still exists, but it's out there for a reason.
Here it was the Junior Lakers logo.
That would be the ultimate, and I don't know if that's disrespect or what it is, but Riley Simpson down floor. Trying to find a fancy way to get it over. I was going to say Trumbull. He's switched spots now with Brendan Marino, who draws a double team. All of this enough to kill off the penalty, but it does go over and back, and will hand Six Nations the ball. This game has flown by, although it feels like that. It is 9:30 local time, but 8 minutes gone here in the period. Period number 3. Lucas Osborne will flip to DeLauro. A reminder, day off tomorrow before we're back from Tony Rose, KW and Orangeville. Both teams that are down on the score sheet tonight. And then we're back here on Monday when the Lakers host the Toronto Beaches in what I'm sure is going to be a good game as well. Reed Chamberlain. Swim move, trying to get away from trouble. Blay Myers, that hit off. I thought the defender before it went up and out of play, but they rule no shot and give it back to Six Nations. Catch Dockstader. Now for Sunday, outside, it comes back to Dockstader again. Crashes into pressure. Dockstader up top, Thunderhill. Fake low, went high and right into the body of Crowley. Hill with it. Shot comes, Swamp now. Gervais the save. Was rolling through his legs. He actually kicked it out. This will be a crease violation against Six Nations, though the ball did roll into the back of the net.
Great goaltending from Gervais there, keeping his body moving forward no matter what, and his dragging leg actually prevented that ball from crossing the line.
I think that's a good sequence on both sides, even for the Arrows, who just continue to keep pressure. Defense able to keep up with all of it. Here's Rude with a shot into the midsection of Robertson. And then, of course, as you said, Gervais at the back end of it, shutting the door. Hill. Rivera. Donville might have been onto something yesterday when he said this could be the season of the goalie. And as I say that, Rivera makes me eat it.
That was tough to deal with for Cole Gervais as Winter Rivera just drove to the net. And once you start firing your whole body across the crease, changing the shooting angle that much, it makes it that much more difficult to make a save. And you can see him beat the defender on the outside, get to the crease, lose his feet, and find that space on the outside of the net. Just a perfect job there to bring his team back within one.
Try and go right back to Gervais again. And another big save down to our right-hand side.
We'll see how that impacts the philosophy of each team here. One-goal game, big difference compared to a two-goal game at this stage in the game. Do the Lakers have to just keep it on the gas pedal at this point while the Arrows are going to try and do the same thing? I don't think they can afford to let up at all and try and play a defensive style.
Alexander Hicks slowed up a little bit before that shot. Didn't get through. Kennedy and Hill kind of arguing over who was going to take that. Dangerously close to the over and back line too. Swamp for Anderson. Outside. Now into the stick of Kennedy. Here's Hill. Can't find space around a screen, but Anderson slips off and is all alone. And Gervais, another great save. Sego Swamp taken down hard after he went after the loose ball in the corner. Got up and responded, and his over-energetic effort gives the ball here to Peterborough. 42-38 shots in favor of Six Nations now. That's 80 between the two teams. Now we still got just about 9 minutes left to go. Starting to believe that 60 from Six Nations was legit.
It's not hard to believe.
Wales reset. Stops in the corner, turns. He'll give back to Doug Elijah. Inside, big high step there. Defensive crash from Simpson. Two defenders fall. And Thompson couldn't take advantage. Now back through the middle again. Elijah, bouncing ball. Thunderhill tries to return it. And that was just a lot of forcing it from the Six Nations Arrows, I think, as Hill comes off. Immediately doubles over, and this is going to draw the attention of the training staff over on that Six Nations bench.
You can see both teams starting to put their bodies on the line like this. It's a championship game at this stage.
These teams have a lot of kilometers between the two of them, but starting to become quite a rivalry here at this junior level. As we said, some good tight games between the two of them over the last couple seasons. And I would welcome a playoff series. I don't know that the team budgets would welcome that with the travel between them, but
you have to imagine that
I'd be okay with it.
The Peterborough Six Nations rivalry transcends everything. I think it would go all the way down to 5-year-olds out there.
Reset finds himself all alone between him and Gervais, but as has happened and been the case all night long, it's the Peterborough goaltender who gets the last laugh. Gervais has been spectacular here tonight. Has his team up by 1. Here's Hicks. Spins off pressure, takes a big shot after letting one go on Robertson. Moving back the other way for the Arrows. 6.5 to play, only about 12 or 13 possessions left to go. In the corner, Hill out there, he wants it. Ducking for cover was Anderson, who rips the stick out of the hands of his defender. Meanwhile, Gervais was making another save. Trumbull picked up his stick and gave a chop to Hill. Chamberlain puts it in the corner, now throws a screen for Blair Myers. He was trying to pass to his man up top, and Sage couldn't get there in time. Alford across the timeline, now Anderson. Off the bench is Sunday. Tristan Sunday working past the screen, the shot! Oh, from here that looked like that was rolling in, but it comes down the side of the net. Anxious moment over on the Peterborough net. Through the middle, cutting through. Shot that time from Nick DeLauro, and the Arrows are running out again, but it's still just one man, Blaze Becker. Looks for Kennedy trailing the play, nearly intercepted. Kennedy has Anderson waiting for it just outside of the restraining line. Down to Hill. He looks off Swamp, goes to Thompson. Back to Anderson now. Going to be kept off the crease. Good defensive play from Wyatt Wiggins. And they continue to work on Anderson, who's a big body. And Anderson and Wiggins are going to stare each other down here. That was a big defensive stop. As now, Arrows are going to pick it out of the pile.
Anderson's playing on the limit here. You have to think the refs are keeping a close eye on him after that last interaction.
See if him and Wiggins get matched up again. It doesn't look like Wiggins is out there this time. The shot comes from up top, and it's Tristan Sunday.
A loud cheer from the Arrows as they tie this one back up. And that's just sticking to it in the offensive zone. Tired legs once again for the Lakers as the Arrows were out there for a good amount of time on offense. You just get into that area where you need to be to shoot from, and that's just a perfect shot.
That's one thing that Arrows players of all levels and all ages have done is shoot. And trademark of Peterborough teams, how about Caleb Connell? Transition goal.
Punch and counter punch. The Lakers all game, they've been used to playing from behind. Now they're playing for their lead, but quick to respond no matter what. They haven't let the Arrows get away from them at any stage in this game. Now they're not letting the Arrows catch up to them at any stage in the game. Taking it away immediately there, and again, changing the complexion of the game.
Lead back to the Peterborough Lakers. Can they get another one? A bouncer from Lucas Osborne that just goes wide, and then it'll be an over and back against the Lakers.
And we keep seeing this from Peterborough. It's an over-the-shoulder shovel pass, looking against the play, but having eyes in the back of their head and finding a man down the floor.
4 minutes left to go. 1-goal lead on the side of Peterborough, who trailed most of this game. A spin-off, and what a recovery. There have been some fantastic defensive plays on that Lakers D side.
And the strength from Crowley just to reach and knock that ball free was impressive.
Dockstader's shot handled by Gervais. Picked up again by Will White. Lakers are going to slow down. Let the entire offense get out there. Rude down to the corner. Skips away from Hicks. Blaymeyers down there trying to pick it up. Only 5 to shoot now. Blaymeyers has no help. He'll just roll it harmlessly into the corner. Under 3 to go. Swamp. If you're the Arrows, it's not desperation time. Don't have to get too cute. Stick to the plan, at least for now. Sunday, back up top, dropping the shoulder. Over the shoulder, Swamp the score. How about the assist, though, from Winter Rivera?
You love to see this from both teams. Neither team giving any quarter, keeping it pushing no matter what, not getting deflated at all. And just going back to back, and what a move to drive in there, take a spin, and find a man with that behind the back pass and wide open there, right on the doorstep.
That assist was nasty.
Just watching the contortion on his body there to move around the defender and then find a man.
We are tied. 2.5 to go. Remember, last year, these two teams required extra time. It was an overtime win that put Six Nations into the playoffs. Matched Brampton in every other category except had one extra overtime win. Brampton had the overtime loss, and that's what made way for the Arrows to get into the playoffs. Now, swept by Orangeville when they got to that point, but their goal was to get in, which they did. This year they think they're a top 5 team. We'll see. Gervais being called to the bench on the delayed penalty call. Bouncing shot and into Robertson, and a late penalty here. What's the call going to be? It's against Vance Adams. A high stick. 1:56 to go. Was kind of hoping for the Six Nations fans that wasn't going to be a too many men in the last 2 minutes. That's a penalty shot, but see what the power play of the Lakers can do. Rude. Colby Wood up top, goes back to Rude. No shooting angle, steps back and gets one through to Robertson anyways. made the save despite the fact he didn't know where it was. Porter was headed off the floor. Cole Pallas tried to hit him with a pass, and now Pallas has to bring it down. It's run to the outside, a couple collisions with the boards. Now Pallas will pass it off to the far side. No connection with him and Rivera. And look out down floor, Riley Simpson.
And this power play will take things to the end of regulation unless Peterborough is able to capitalize here.
In comes Rivera. Now Hill. Gonna slow it right down. 10 on the shot clock. Into the last minute. Thunderhill has it from way up top. Just the one goal from him tonight after a 5 spot on opening day. 44.9 to go. Both teams with a timeout in the bag. It'll be the power play of Peterborough. Come out to get set up. Wood likes to go to the lefties first. Marino down into the corner. Back to Wood. Rude and Blaemeyers. All the actions on the right side. Wood back across. Here's Blaemeyers. Low shot. Robertson saves and holds his ground. And it'll be timeout, Six Nations.
Robertson being exactly who he needs to be at this stage in the game. And make saves like that, you can erase anything that you may have let by you earlier in the contest, with it being tied, game on the line. A guy right there on that advertising spot, right there at the top of the crease. Perfect chance to take a shot, but Robertson standing tall, making the save, staying low, and closing things down. That's what you need from your goalie, and that instills faith in the rest of your team. You almost want to go out there and make sure you finish off regulation for your goalie at that point in time after he makes such a huge save.
I have to be honest, when I saw the game sheet that Sugga Thompson had got the start on day number 1, was a little bit surprised given that Ethan Robertson has been a solid goaltender for the Arrows the past couple of seasons. Perhaps it's going to be 1A, 1B. I don't know what the story is for the Arrows. I didn't ask because I knew they probably wouldn't tell me anyways, but impressive performance from Thompson the other night and a good one from Robertson on this night as well. A 1-2 punch that should send warning flags up for the other 10 teams in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. So what play was drawn up? Winter Rivera has to get it across in 8 seconds or less. He does that, and that's the first hurdle. Rivera still with it. Matching him was Crowley. Here comes Robertson to the bench. Anderson has the ball. Only a couple seconds left to play. Will Anderson get a shot away? No, there goes the horn. And for the first time this season, there's overtime in the OJLL.
I think that Peterborough can count this as a statement no matter what. Bouncing back from last season and starting their season strong here, taking the Arrows to overtime, but you know that's not going to be enough for them. They want to take this one home. Well, the Arrows, they've got to be happy with their performance as well. On the heels of their win to open the season. That was a tight game as well, so they're a little bit used to playing in these tight games. But just being able to execute here in overtime, we'll see what they go back to. Are they going to try those long stretch plays in transition, try and catch the Lakers off guard? Are they going to try and take their time when they get a possession in the offensive zone? We'll see what they're going to try and do. And on the same side, the Lakers, you can see we're looking at the nation's bench right now, but Robert Hope taking a sip of water. I think he's talked more than you during this game. He's been up and down the bench. He's been up and down the bench all game. You can hear him loud and clear. And he's an elite defender at the top level of lacrosse, right?
Yes,
so
he
he's
is.
seeing things that some of these guys on the floor are not seeing. You can hear him calling everything out. Who's going to be the shooter? Who's going to be where? And now both teams a little bit calm. And it looks like the Lakers are deferring to their defensive coach right now, Curtis Conley, who's talking to their D unit and try and tell them what they have to do. Now Robert Hope taking over and pointing some fingers.
How about some of the coaches we've got in this league? Last night doing Oakville, Troy Cordingley. We know the resume that he's got. Steve Toll as well in St. Catharines. We saw him. And then the young guys like Robert Hope, like Riley O'Connor with Toronto. And Alex Krepensek has just taken over the reins of Burlington from Dan McRae. This is I mean, if you want to be a player in the National Lacrosse League, this is where you come. If you want to be an official, this is where you come. I think if you want to be a coach in the National Lacrosse League, this is where you want to come as well.
I think it's just a matter of time probably for a lot of these guys, right? And the time commitment to do this is maybe the most impressive thing, balancing a job, balancing this, balancing the leagues they compete in. True passion for the game.
So here we go, overtime. A reminder is a full 10 minutes, I believe. Unless we're still playing sudden victory. That would have been a good question to ask before we got this far.
The crowd has thinned out a little bit at this point as well. On the near side, I know everybody watching at home won't be able to see that, but a lot of these kids had to get to bed, rest up for their big games tomorrow in the Laker Classic.
They got early games tomorrow.
And Robert Hope has a practice here tomorrow as well. So does Turner Evans.
So here we are, overtime. How about Thunder Hill taking the draw? Penalty box door opens. Adams is back out there. It is 5-on-5. There's no 3-on-3 or anything like that. Scheduled for 10 minutes. We know that part. As Anderson comes in and Gervais stands tall to make the save. First one the other way for Peterborough. This will be Blaymeyers. All the way across floor to Hicks. Dremy stops up, shoots. Robertson the save. Thunderhill, one of the first offensive guys out the door. He'll now wait for Anderson, Rivera, Kennedy to come and join him. Ball to the far side. Look out, Gervais. It was in the stick. Spun across the line. And Rivera couldn't get there in time. Got beat to the punch by Lucas Osborne. Blaymeyers into the corner. Alexander Hicks up top, quickly around the horn, through Sage and back to Dremy. Dremy inside the restraining line. It's Rude. That shot wide of the mark. As it comes back to the restraining line, Sage can't pick it up, and it'll be a shot clock violation against Peterborough.
Rude targeting a tiny spot on the short side, almost had it.
Now back to the Arrows' turn. Sunday leading it. Outside, Rivera follows his shot. That's his move. He's done it more than a couple of times here in this game. Elijah. Ball drops down. Here's Crowley. Eight minutes to go. Scheduled 8, that is. It bounces back to Hicks. Hicks couldn't return it up top to Marino. Bull behind the net.
Thought he had it, and I thought that bounced in.
Marino getting a little cheeky here in OT. That diving shot is an outlawed shot here in the OJLL because you can't obviously go through the crease, but you can bank it in off the goalie. Why not? Here's Anderson. Shot on Gervais. He's down. If Hill picks that up and shoots quickly, perhaps he's got a chance.
An underappreciated thing there was Robertson staying in position even when he could assume that nothing was going to happen. It was good focus.
Moving screen just as that shot was taken last Sunday, so that's why Peterborough's going to get the ball here, despite it going off their defender. 51-43 shots favoring the Arrows. Here in extra time, we played 3 minutes. Alexander Hicks. Far side, sidearm shot. Robertson makes the save on Matthew Dremy. All the way down floor for Hill. Quickly racing out Trumbull. Here to make sure there was no advantage. Anderson and Sunday around the corner scores. And they're coming off the bench as if that's it. The officials aren't stopping them, so it looks like the Arrows have done it again in overtime. 9-8, exactly the same score as it was 1 year ago.
A building block game for both teams. The Arrows had their lead, lost their lead, came back. They finished the story the way they wanted to. The Peterborough Junior Lakers, really impressive game to start the season here against a great opponent. We're going to take a look at this goal one more time. It's just pure speed, athleticism, driving to the outside, beating a defender, and then finding that far post. It's always hard for the goalie to come across, and you think about the reach on a lacrosse stick. A hockey term, I know Wendell Clark always said, shoot like the puck, like your eyes are at the blade of your stick. That's exactly what was done there. Looking across, using the head of the stick as if it's your eyes and finding that hole in the net, getting the goalie coming across. Great goal and a great game.
There is your final 9-8. Six Nations Arrows win it in overtime. And those overtime victories, we've said it all game, huge in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. It was that one win that got them into the postseason last year.
And looking at these two teams, they both go into this action saying they're going to be the team this year. They're going to be one of the teams this year. And I think we can believe each team.
Brampton knocks off Orangeville 8-6 on the out-of-town scoreboard. Beaches looks like they defeat Burlington 12-9. And there should be one more game that I'm missing here. Already gone final somewhere. OntarioJuniorLacrosse.com is where you can find all your scores, or the official Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app. Be sure you subscribe to this channel where you'll catch all the action all season long, including our next broadcast on Sunday night. It's a 7 p.m. start from Tony Rose Arena. KW Lacrosse Club in to face the Orangeville Northmen. For our partner Dan Malta, our producer and director tonight, Gary Morrison, Colleen Grimes of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League and the JVI Sports Network, I'm Matthew Carrick, thanking you for tuning in from here in Peterborough. 9-8, Six Nations wins. We'll talk to you on Sunday night.
Top shelf in a cocktail lounge. Drop the boys and make some noise. It's dealer's choice, so pick your place of poison.